Guests are reminded to enjoy their visit. We can't do it for you.
Tell me about Museum from a design perspective.
There's a lot in this game. I'd say it's probably got more features in it than probably both the previous games combined.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
For us, when we kicked off the project, we had a few specific features in mind that we knew were going to be really important to this game. I mean, the expedition system being one of them, but also the level of customization.
Guests are reminded that I don't know where things are. I am not a map.
Another big thing, just thinking about the big pillars of the game, was actually evolving the structure of the game relative to the previous games. Both Hospital and Campus have had this structure of you 3-star a level and then you're kind of done with it.
Yeah, I mean, you can still go back, right? But yeah.
When we designed Hospital in particular, we kind of hoped that people would want to go back and play beyond 3 stars and upgrade more of their machines and finish off the things they hadn't done and just keep filling out the plots. But I mean, in practice, not as many people do that. They tend to feel like they finished at 3 stars. So really, when we started designing Museum, we thought, how can we give people reasons to go back to their museums and get them attached to their museums so they want to keep going back to them?
Yeah, it's a lot more intertwined, this game, because you'll go to somewhere like the Marine Life Museum, you'll get new staff members that you can use. You can go back to somewhere like Memento Mile and use all that stuff there. So we're encouraging you to sort of take what you've learned from other places and then apply it again at somewhere you've already been.
Yeah.
Cool.
Guests touching electrical exhibits will be shocked by what they find.
One of the things that's come up is the element of plate spinning and how much work has gone into the minute-by-minute play in-game. Could you take us through that a little bit?
Everything about the guests you need to think about, everything about your staff that you need to think about, making sure they're happy, all of your exhibits, because they're kind of really at the heart of the game.
Yeah. Each new exhibit you get, there's a new different type of plate to spin. Like if you get a botany plant which can die, you've now got to think about, okay, I need to keep that watered, and these things just stack up and up and up. And as you build your museum and get more themes in, you're just bringing on all these extra new challenges, aren't you, in different ways. And even if you've learned something at this museum, there's that other bit of, well, maybe I should go and do that at my other museums and bring that back up, right? And sort of taking that forward to everywhere else.
You always got at the back of your mind, like, oh, how could I use this? Oh, now that I've explored that part of the map, oh, I found somewhere that might need a prehistory expert that's under the sea. Maybe I should go back to my other museum. Or I could spin up a prehistory thing in this museum.
You're kind of learning is adding value to things that you've already done. You can go back and apply that.
Yeah, and all the expedition maps cross-pollinate, right? So you might find a sunken pirate ship, which might have pirate ghosts in the Atlantis map. And then if you go to the Supernatural Museum, you can start hiring some marine life experts to go and explore it with your ghostology experts.
Nice, that's really cool. I like that. So then finding the synergy within the other things that are happening.
You're reminded that the prehistoric period was absolutely ages ago.
It's a big one. Go into the details of the management sim side thing, but you don't have to go into all the details because we'll be here talking about stats forever.
But
how deep does that go? Yeah, exactly. Maths guy, he's in.
There's a lot going on with, I think, the guests and the staff, really. But there's also all the different stats with them, the depth to the guests, different types of
different
guests.
Archetypes. And they all react in the museum in different ways. So a tourist, for example, they will spend more in the gift shop than a goth. And so if you're seeing more of those in the museum, maybe you should think about your gift shop a bit more. Or, you're saying interacting with the exhibits, you might find that some guests might interact with an exhibit and come out changed, like with the Blooming Buffoon. Maybe you'll see some clowns or some vampires or something.
And it's particularly sinister if it's like a little family group and someone's dad just gets turned into a clown. In front of their kids.
Happens.
They sort of all just deal with it.
To the best of
us. That's great.
It's my new dad.
I'm fine with this. Okay.
Children found talking to me and therefore breaking regulations will be humoured begrudgingly.
I think looking at hospital, everybody that goes into the hospital has a specific thing they want cured, right? Whereas with museum, you're trying to cater to multiple people, and they will have certain interests, like you might get some ghostology enthusiasts that come in, but on the whole, it's up to you how you want to cater this museum and what experience you want guests to go through it. So it does feel a lot more freeform in how you kind of achieve your goals.
And the guests even have things like their dream visit. If you can achieve what they want from a dream visit, then you get this extra big donation out of them.
Goths, for example, might be more interested in ghostology sort of exhibit. So there's loads of small systems that are all playing off each other.
Guests are asked not to steal the exhibits, though I do enjoy a chase.
Okay, give us just insight into how the customization tools work.
When we were looking at museum and we're talking about that guest experience, it's more how you want to shape it. So we needed to make sure the tools met those expectations, and we do a lot of things with how guests flow through the museum. We have crime in museums, so you also need to think about things like bottlenecks and have you got good staff access routes, so staff-only doors, so security guards can have cut-throughs and things like that. And so it's there from a kind of functional gameplay point of view, but also the customization options as well. If you want to put like a mud floor and put all your exhibits in the mud and put plants around it indoors, you can do that. So make it, again, feel like your museum and how you want to shape the experience.
Guests left speechless by an exhibit are reminded to snap out of it.
What do you think people are going to be most excited about when it comes to museum?
That sense of adventure that you get from the expedition system is really unique to this game, and it does add that real sense of excitement. You kind of get attached to your people a bit more.
Yes, you do. Yeah. I don't send my favourite ones on dangerous expeditions.
Yeah.
Or they'll
Anymore.
come back and they're like permanently changed because of something that happens to them on an expedition.
If you are just a chaos monger, is there room for that?
You can do that.
Good.
You could just go straight in, ramp up all the prices on the ticket booth, on the gift shop.
No toilets. I know the score.
No toilets for the janitors.
No toilets, no staff room, no downtime, no food, no drink. Have fun. Off you go, guys. Work hard.
Yeah. With the chaos stuff as well, I think the exhibits definitely lean into that. If they're not looked after, they will start having big impacts in the museum on the guests.
Detrimental effects to. Oh, that's cool.
Like the stink plants.
The stink plant, you can get a botany plant that if it's not looked after.
The stink plant.
And if it does die, it does like a death blowout stink, doesn't it? When it finally wilts,
It's like
and everybody wants to go
fart.
and vomit. Yeah.
There must always be an element of. You guys have been working hard on the title unannounced for a set amount of time, and then you announce it to the community, and then they go, museum? I wanted a zoo. I wanted, whatever else. So tell us not only how you kind of settled on it, and I know a little bit of the inside story there, but what you were thinking from the get-go and how you make this 2 point.
We do take some inspiration from real world places, obviously hospitals, university campuses and colleges, and now museums, and we see that as an opportunity to twist those things. So start off with something every day and then put that 2 point twist on it and kind of have that light-hearted take on that setting, and that just suddenly makes it so much more fun. And as soon as people see screenshots of the game, videos of the game, they'll see how fun it is and how all of the exhibits are alive and the guests are being picked up and eaten by giant carnivorous plants and spat back out again. And as soon as you picture that and see that in the game, you're like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So we knew that museum was actually a cool thing to do.
There are some really weird museums out there, man.
When the game comes out, we want people to be comparing their museums and going, where did you find that? There is quite a lot of strategy to the expeditions, because you've got this whole cargo system, but then you've also got who you choose to take on those expeditions. And that actually makes quite a big difference because their level of expertise is important. Whether you choose to do the speedy expedition, like do you want to do it as fast as possible but risk damaging the helicopter, or do you want to do the slow and steady detailed version where they'll learn more about the location but it's going to take twice as long, but they might find a higher quality exhibit there, for example.
And across each of the different maps where you find all these exhibits, they all have different events, right? So if I'm going into 2.C, I'm going to be encountering events like hull breaches or avoiding sharks or things like that, right? Whereas if I'm in the bone belt, in the prehistory area, I'm more worried about mudslides or falling in a volcano or something like that.
Who doesn't worry about
It
who doesn't worry?
It happens.
Yeah.
So one more question. One thing that a lot of people use to get into understanding game dev is modding. Is that something you guys are thinking about in any way?
We are thinking about modding, yeah. In fact, so Campus, not at release, but later on, we did add some modding support to Campus, so people could make their own 3D items and put them in the game as a placeable item. And we got some really awesome stuff out of that. Some of the hanging exhibits, the initial inspiration for that came from some mods from Campus, which added things like hanging ceiling fans and other hanging decorative items, which then inspired us to do that for Museum. So yeah, we are really keen to add modding to this game because I think it really suits it.
Yeah, it's exciting.
But yeah, we kind of love that idea that people could just run with the basics of the game and just keep adding to it and explore in all sorts of mad
There's so much
directions.
in it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I'm not sure when the museum closes. I've never made it that far.